This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heart Matters. We're converging to learn together because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better work life, better family life, better personal life.
Yes, and I'm your host, Willie Kinyash. Yes, and it is always pleasure having you on board. And today we want to talk about why it's easier for women to cheat and all men know it. And we had promised that we are going to have this discussion. And there's something Benjamin posted on his Facebook about the same. And there's a man who made a comment and said, modern women want to test apparatus functionality and effectiveness before commitment. Brothers who try this notion are always mistaken as non-functional and end up fetching water at the beautiful queen's wedding. So, how do you go about this thing?
Yeah, so we are saying the following. The difference between men and women are both exciting and threatening. And I know we know they are not like us, and they know we are not like them. There's excitement there because you're going to marry a person who completes you, brings the variety you did not have. But there's also fear. That side about them you don't know. Mm-hmm. Can you trust it? Mm-hmm. Can you rest? We want to discuss the complexity in women's nature, makeup, how they operate. You have heard a lot of things about men having the license to roam because it was men who was making the rules. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. They started by giving themselves the license to roam. Mm-hmm. But in the last half a century or so, of 50 years, there have been a lot of transformations where women have come forward, and the invention of the contraceptives separated sex from productivity so that now it can be for enjoyment, and women were able to claim their place of being able to produce something else more than babies. There before they could only produce babies. Mm-hmm. Now they can produce dreams, they can produce goals, can invent things. Now they can have a voice. Now they can vote. It's not always obvious. It was not always there. Now they can lead. Now they can show up in the market. Now they can show up in politics. Now women are present.
Yes.
Because we did not understand them, we tied them at home. And men being called the head of the family, they tried to say they're also head of society, head of market, head of everything. Mm-hmm. At home, you head family because your husband. A woman who is not married to a man must head her own life, isn't it?
Yeah.
And even when she's married, out there, she does not become subject to every man. People fear submission, thinking women are being told to submit to men, because that's how it was being broadcasted.
Yeah.
There's no verse that says women should submit to men. Mm-hmm. It's not that. Uh-huh. It's a wife to submit to husband.
Not women.
No.
You're submitting to your own husband.
Yes.
Not to every man out there.
And men are supposed to love their wives. The husband, love your wife. Not men loving women. Uh-huh. This submission and love, it's in the context of a relationship.
Yes.
We discussed how business hardens women in one of our discussions online.
Yes.
I say when women are single and they start business, it hardens them. Unconsciously though.
Yeah.
Because of the fight. Because of working to set it up. Because of putting all the energy to compete, show up in the market, calculate, be there. Fight. The soft, restful femininity is forced to tamp down, and the competitor to show up. Because in the market, speed and tact is what makes you win. It's good to have quality services, quality products, but you can still close business when you have the best quality. If you are not tactful and speedy to arrest opportunities and make sales. In another show, I told you that you are blessed if you marry a woman who can make a sale. Yeah. If you marry a person who can make a sale, the both of you become rich. Mm-hmm. Making a sale is one of the hardest things in this world. closing herself to make payment, to get a client to pay. Those who can make sales are the ones who rule the market. And when she's out there, she's taught to compete for sales, for clients, and it can rub off a lot of her femininity. And we're telling them how to balance. Femininity doesn't mean weakness. It means queendom, the energy of being self-assured, and resting in your element as a woman. And glowing and attracting, not chasing and begging. Learning to let him lead the dance and you dance along and you thrill him until he's addicted to your presence. Femininity is an art. It's an art you learn, it's not inborn. It's an energy you beam and you learn how to turn it on. In fact, I was telling them, instead of changing to a hustler, because the marketplace is changing them too. A hustler, a fighter. Instead of showing up in the market tough, show up as a queen. Show up as glowing. In fact, I was telling them, you can beat men hands down if you learn how to mix your femininity with the market competitiveness. The ladies who have mastered that always have an almost unfair advantage because they're likable even before they start selling. You when you learn to be queenly and royal, you're very likable, charming. And then on top of that, you can deliver, you are punctual, you are easy to relate with, you are relatable and sweet. That gives them a clear cutting edge. Yeah. And lawyers know that very well because sometimes when they are competing for tender, the person who shows up, the lady is glowing with her femininity and she's there charming and she has a command of the law and command of the queendom. Yeah. If she is my competitor, I have to go a stone throw ahead.
Yes.
To compete with her. Yes, I would dress the part, but I'll be praying that the panel is composed of women so that I can use the polarities.
Yes.
The majority, I use the polarities because when she's glowing well and the panel is women, many of them will be jealous of this woman. So, let me tell you the truth. A woman was learned to be a queen even in the market. She's unbeatable. She knows how to charm even women. The highest skill of a queen is to win other women, not men. Men might just fall for your thighs and your body. To make another woman feel secure in your presence, now that's the top-notch skills. That's the top-notch skills. The biggest enemy of women is not men.
It is women.
Yes. That's the biggest enemy.
Women know this secret.
And to charm the other woman is very easy. The biggest threat is her insecurities. So turn the spotlight to her in ever indirect way, but very effective. Show her things you admire in her and sound sincere about it. But women were taught to be forthright, so when they are forthright, they are offensive because actually she is not pretty. And you should make her feel pretty by saying something that is not very true. The science of disarming other women when you're a woman begins with when you see something that is in her that is not pleasant, 90% chances that is her area of sensitivity. And if you have good hair when she has bad hair, smart face, she has none. Shape, she has none. You dressed well, she's dressed shabbily. And she's the boss. She's the colleague whose peace, your peace depends on her.
Yes.
You must work extra hard to look for things that she outshines you apparently, even if they're irrelevant.
Yeah.
Just having a nice children. I mean, even if it's outside here, it's this context that her son is very obedient.
And I found her.
I told women, in order to learn to win in this world, they're going to read materials that are warlike. You see, their world is not warlike. It's about romance,
Yeah.
seduction, And many of them have mastered that. And I see them encouraging each other on Instagram. So girls, today we are talking about how to position yourself on the camera to hypnotize him. And they talk about hypnotizing the man. Your real enemy is not the man. Please, take your energy elsewhere. You're focusing on the wrong things. How many men do you need to win? Are you marrying every man?
No.
You are a real obstacle. Most men are very direct and surely like this. Basic smartness will... If the average woman who is not even outstanding Miss World, anything, she just dresses right, Willie will be impressed. I like it. But your wife will say, what kind of skirt is that?
Yes.
Did you notice that? You just notice a nice young lady who looks happy.
Yeah.
But the women are picking details.
Yes.
So the shoe, green shoe and no. And you just have to cooperate with the conversation for the sake of peace.
Yes.
I noticed that phenomenon long time ago. I worked with lady bosses. Even before I got married, I knew there's something I don't know. Because we were seeing the same person and noticing different things. Me, I was getting easily carried away. And eventually, I saw that I'm batting my head against a perennial truth that women, by de facto, they're antagonistic to each other. By default. By default, it's antagonism. It's not friendship. Only those who have matured learn to use that antagonism for their advantage. Why? Every criticism is always rooted in a wish. She's criticizing your legs because she wishes her legs were better, or she wishes she had hair like yours. There's a wish.
Yes.
And a disturbance that she's trying to project. And we're not saying criticism cannot be honest. They can be honest. But many women are insecure about something about their looks. Because women in our culture, it's their body that is praised the most, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you heard a song singing how a woman thinks? No. We only sing how she looks, isn't it?
Yes.
How she smiles, isn't it? Her legs, isn't it?
Her beauty.
Thank you. How often do you hear a song listing the innovations
Not enough.
a woman has made? How many do you hear has? No. Because of the culture emphasizing the physique then, most women's struggles concern the physique. The next thing, which women should know, which you should assuage quickly, is how much love she's getting from her man, whether she's loved and treasured. That's why they always mention the good things the man did for her to other women. They discuss when you compliment the her, oh, my husband, took me to that salon. I like this, oh, my husband took me for, or did my husband, my man, That is a point of pride to them. So, if she is not happy in a relationship, don't go there. You should just listen and assuage. And look for whatever you can compliment about her likability and encouraging her in a way that is indirect without looking, because some people take challenge to be an attack. Wait to see whether she can accommodate challenge. So, we are saying the biggest struggle you're going to find for a woman to advance is not from men. It is from other women. And how to learn how to accommodate them, how to deal with them, it's not antagonistic. Study materials that were invented for war, because what you used to do in the war is what you do in the market today. Back then, you hear that passage saying it was in the spring, at the time when kings got to war, at the time when David delayed from going to war, remained around, got charmed by a woman, messed things and all that. They used to go to war. Today we go to the market. Seasons for import, seasons for export, seasons for this agricultural product. So the seasons for war today are seasons for market. We replaced war with market. And what are we doing in the market? We meet there for competition. So if a lady is in the market competing, she should see it as a war. Deborah said, I rose when people were retreating the villages and refused to go to war, and there was shouts of war, the enemy was coming. I rose up, myself, a mother in Israel. You can be a mother and a fighter. I was telling them, if you learn to blend the two, you become unbeatable. If you learn to be that Deborah who can both be born a mother and sing songs of war, you'll be unbeatable. But us, what we don't know is we are very readable. The difference between men and women are frustrating and also exciting. The first difference that we men cannot crack with women is when she's sincere versus when she's not honest. She can act and tailor-make her response to your requirements. When we love as men, we start talking. I like this about you. You know, you remind me of my mother. Yeah. So when you like a woman, you come talking, and she's downloading, filling gaps. What kind of chap is this? So this guy is very village, countryside boy. This boy likes this kind of food. The mother once did this. So she only needs memory. And she will tailor-make herself to your customization. And then you feel so validated. Now, there's a problem with hearing. The first sense to develop is hearing. Even when the baby is, they can hear. That's the sense that so deeply primal. That's when talking to baby, when the mother is talking, it's working. It's working. So she can appeal to your primal comfort by hearing. And you help her by putting her voice in your ear directly. Oh my God. And then she said, oh my God, how was your day? I missed you. She changes the voice to be romantic and comforting, and you assist her by bringing it to your ear. I want to give you a clue that you should always put a speaker. When you're talking to girls you don't want to fall in love with or you don't know well yet, that is more natural. The conversations of life are never ear to ear, except when they are very romantic and you're in bed together. So putting a girl's phone in your ear suggests bedroom. Trick number 2. Don't allow for her to be full on the screen. That is too close. Looks like she's here. If her face is full there and the features are so pronounced and you can see so close, it's like you are here. What's happening to you, brother? But isn't that what we do with ourselves?
Yes.
You plug in the earphone, put inside, and then she's full there. My God, how's your day? And she's there magnified. You'll be hypnotized, isn't it?
Yes.
You are dealing with the body and the charm, not the character. Most men were not planning to have sex with women before marriage, but these things they did arose their appetites.
Yeah.
Are you aware that most men cannot control their feelings when they fall in love with a woman? One has written me pages upon pages just from asking him, brother, this is dating, this is not marriage. And you're writing for me pages and screenshots of inconsistencies. And why are you typing me so many pages about a candidate you are checking out? Isn't this already proof that these are enough inconsistencies to make you go away? He says, oh yes, but you see the problem is I really love her. I don't know what to do. I'm telling him, brother, who do you expect to come and control your feelings for you? Are you waiting for an outsider to come and whip the feelings for you? You must practice the hard work of unloving, pulling out your feelings. Many men, the language of controlling our feelings was not there because we were being told men are not emotional. It's women who are emotional. The one thing you can't tell is when she brings so much sexualized energy to you, you can't tell whether that's sincere. And you know, she makes you feel alive. She promises the things I told you that we crave for quietly, sexual intensity, ecstasy, and escape from this monotonous life to adventure. And she makes you feel the goosebumps. Oof. And you're feeling chills.
Yeah.
And she said, oh my God, so how are you? And then you even help her. You ask her to call when she's in the bed. Why do brothers do this on themselves? Why don't we love ourselves?
Yeah.
You follow a woman to the bedroom. Then she calls when she's there. And, I was just sleepy, but I was thinking, how was your day? You take your flirting to sexting, talking sex. Is there space? Yes, come, we sleep. Brother. Then you start boiling. Where will you take the fire? The moment somebody says, yeah, you can come, we sleep, what has registered in your head?
And you're all alone.
You can drive 4 kilometers.
Yeah.
Let me tell you our fatal weaknesses, man. Fatal. Potentially deadly. Is that women's charms are like a vehicle. When vehicles are out there, you choose them. Whether to go in and which one to go in, isn't it? But once you are in, it carries you.
Yeah.
And it can crush you. That's our fatal weakness. We are in control of ourselves while the women are there.
Yes.
When they are where?
There. But the moment we allow them to carry
You
us,
have all the authority of whether to board, which to board. You can say, I'm not boarding.
yes.
You can brag.
Yes.
But the moment you board, although you did it unconsciously by thinking it's just flirting.
Yeah.
You know my biggest difficulty, and I was wondering who is describing the rules, the guideline. What's the difference between checking things between us and crossing the boundary to, awakening love before it's time?
Yeah.
Where is the boundary? I had to draw the boundaries myself after being tormented by several damsels. By the time you're talking to a girl, it means you already find her likable, isn't it? You're trying to check her character.
Yeah.
Let's repeat that. You already like the charm. You're checking.
Our character.
Yes. And Delilahs are very charming. They don't have much in the way of character, but they can give you water. They can quench your thirst.
Yes.
They can tie you to their kitchen chair. Remember the song?
Yeah.
She tied you to a kitchen chair and shaved your head and took away the song. They can take away your song. So that, really, you can stop singing. And you start whistling. I had one guy say, my colleagues are married and doing well with life. Me, I'm still here. I don't know what they call it. It was one of these local musicians lamenting how he's stuck in life.
Yeah.
So if the guys we went to school with, I see them with the families
Yes.
and projects. Me, I'm here. I don't know the name of that thing, but it's what boys when they go to herd cows. That's how they communicate.
Yes.
So women can take away your song and you remain whistling. People whistle to handle stress, to distract themselves. The way you go to bathroom and you are singing to manage the stress of the water. It's not the song.
Yeah.
It's a way to manage the stress.
Yes.
She can take, when I say the song, of course, we mean your glow, your vibrancy. You can tell. One guy said they were going to a night vigil, a prayer vigil, and they noticed that the guy who plays keyboard did not arrive on time, so they were struggling with it there. Also, another sister who sings in the group has not come. And they are usually late, but they sneaked in somewhere past midnight. But they looked rained on. a brother's song had been taken away.
Just whistling.
You know, we struggle as men to read honesty and dishonesty in women. That's one difficulty. It will be perennial problem. Look around. You find a man who is very big being played by a very small girl. She's operating in a terrain we are all new to. How many men have kicked out their families to bring in a side chick who is just on a mission to get a pound of flesh near your heart? Men can't read materialistic versus sincere girls. In fact, for many men, it was a lot of hit and miss. The only men who end up marrying right are those who have managed to rein in on their loins, which is very difficult. Because women never talk about sex directly. They just set you on fire. With your cooperation, of course.
Yes.
Because it feels good. It's thrilling.
Yeah.
And the chatty, you can see a guy who's in another world on phone, and one, I had to remove the car myself. I'm approaching, and the way he's in another world, my friend. You are the one to go away. And laughing and lost, hypnotized.
Yes.
All women can change their tone to give you hypnosis, to transport you to wanderlust. And after she's gone, all of you is in rebellion. You want your body to be in rebellion. No. And she's gone. Then you also ask for photos. You know, men assist women to hypnotize. Send me something sexy. Fwah! It is there.
Yes.
And you're there grabbing screen. You go to the mattress to continue the activity. If you went to boys' school, you saw those shenanigans.
Yes.
When boys spent the day with girls,
Yeah.
what were the repercussions at night?
That evening.
Strange activities. You hear a guy harassing a bed,
Yes.
and he's alone. So our dome captain didn't like those kind of noises. So the light socket was always near. So if people had games, you know, after games, people are trying to hug girls. So you're assisting her to feel her breasts, and many of them, and they add a few magic there. They touch you with their shin, because it's skin to skin. They touch you with this skin, this part.
Yes.
Some girls are very cunning.
Yeah.
You hug them, they make sure the hand touches skin to skin, and you feel, shwa, they ignite something. You are going to be tormented away. So our teacher noticed that when he's trying to get us to the bus, guys are trying to get a hug. So one day, Brian was trying to get that hug, and we were in the bus ourselves. He was the only guy missing, and we were looking for him. And the teacher noticed him negotiating. The teacher spotted him negotiating for that last hug.
Yes.
And the teacher arrived on time with a cane. After the negotiation had been successful. And now the delivery is about to be done. And you know when he's coming, sometimes you close your eyes to enjoy the moment. And the teacher... What Brian... The girl had seen the teacher and disappeared. The girl noticed the teacher.
Yes.
So Brian realized, hugging a whip, it became a terror. So, because we are so focused on women's physicalities, we can't tell whether they're being honest. Willie, your secret is, I want to give you quick keys to win this game. Let me remind you the superpower you have. Number one, we can say in a low-key manner,
Low-key manner.
we're not generalizing it, that the creation of a woman was more of an afterthought. This is not to reduce their place. It came later, after God observed you at work and realized you needed someone. So before you install a woman, make sure the things that you are doing for her to become necessary are the things you start with. That is your first magical key. There are two things you are doing before it was noticed that you needed her. Today it's the order to this day. You were managing the garden, isn't it? You were at work. Find work. Number two, you had daily. He came in the cool of the day like he used to do it. You had daily communion with your God, with your Father, with your Creator. A man who is rooted in his God, who has his path of career, is very anchored. That kind of man can look from outside and study a woman. These other men who are looking for somewhere to shelter and feel loved and validated, and they don't have a job that satisfies them, they don't have any depth in God that anchors them, they're the most vulnerable. That's why they can't even handle rejection. I'll kill myself. I have no life without you. Those two things, your work and your worship, should come before your woman. A woman becomes necessary when you found your worship and your work. Now God looks, this kind of man now needs a helper. Before you find those two, you don't need a helper. That is the order to this day. I hope we made the case that God did not stop creating at Adam. People think God only created Adam and the rest of us were born by Adam. That's what people think, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I asked you, if Adam, you came from Adam, why don't we resemble him in our DNA? Why are we varying? Adam is only a partner with a real creator. You too came from where Adam came from.
Yeah.
Directly, bro. Please stop associating as if you're just a descendant. You don't resemble your parents in your DNA. You don't resemble anybody, even your thumbprint. Nobody else has in this world. The originality Adam had, you have it. See yourself as descending directly from a maker, and then learn that part relating with him, because he will assure you who is the right woman for you. Number two, have your work. And the second key, do you know women can never affect you if you can just, they cannot manipulate you. They have very little power over us. Only that we are unaware what they are using. Their trick is only one. Actually, I studied it. I was surprised.
Yeah.
We have more weapons. If it was a gender war, we would have more weapons over them than they have over us. A woman's trick, all of them depend on your sexual discipline. Man wants a woman to validate her. Samson had legit need for support, for someone to talk to, somebody to discuss with. But having not managed this part of his life, we hear about the thighs of Delilah. I don't know how they looked, but the guy was... Please don't ask for photos of thighs. Please. They destroyed somebody's career.
Yes.
Be careful. From being a governor to grinding flour as a slave.
Yeah.
Be careful. Be careful.
Yes.
Stop asking for photos of...
Guys. It's a no-go zone.
Don't drool. You know, people go to their Instagram and you are drooling. Some girls approach you indirectly by sending you the sexy photos. Block. Run, bro. If Joseph did not run, what would have happened with his career?
Destroyed.
That part of dopamine, the desiring hormone, the pursuing hormone, keep it locked, control it, like a water opener and closer. It's not easy, but it is the only way out. That dopamine hormone, bro, control it and take it to places that excite it towards the right things. That's the only way you maintain your sobriety. When dopamine is high, you behave like you're on heat. You know the way when animals are in heat are running around? You lose your sanity.
Yeah.
It commands you to run around until you get a release. The man who has laid hold of his dopamine, the man who has known when to control excitement and step back, is impossible to manipulate. Because most men, the mature men, don't go to women for money. Don't go to women for money. That is the only part they're manipulated. To be assertive, to be decisive. The last thing to know a woman who can cheat is if she's ready to sleep with you before marriage, she has been doing it and she will continue doing it. That's an area that shows lack of character. True women have preserved themselves. True women know that is a sacred garden preserved for something inside. Ask yourself, by the time she's asking, the way that person was commenting, to test your instruments. How many has she tested? How many will she continue to test? And what special does she have for marriage? Why should anybody marry that kind of woman? Why? Apart from the sexual part, how special is she? Everything else you could have gotten from your sister. True or false? True. The conversation, the support, the input. Many of the things you are getting from your wife are outsourceable. Isn't it? In fact, when you were a bachelor, I used to outsource all of them.
Yes.
Mama Fua does this one. The other one, the Dobby Hotel. They are not the best quality. We are not minimizing what a woman can do better, but we are saying the sexual part is what makes the woman sacred. If she has been opening it to other men, how special is she? What does she have? The sign that a woman will cheat is when she's already open to sex outside marriage. She has not awakened to her specialness, or she'll never have the character. And finally, remind yourself that just because you love a woman does not mean she's good for you. Control your feelings. Sometimes you fall in love because of your own internal proclivities and inclinations and urges and desires and preferences with her physique. Maybe she reminds you of a mother who was carrying something. But she does not have the personality, the character of her wife. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. And there you go. You have it. For you to overcome this, you need to have sexual discipline. I will not add, neither subtract. That marks to the end of our show tonight. Thank you so much. My name is Willie Kinyash.
This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heart Matters. We're converging to learn together because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better work life, better family life,